When you have suffered trauma, abuse, which was not your choice, not your fault, not in your control, you feel that so much time has been wasted, so much time has been stolen by someone. And when you finally recover from it and decide to move on, you decide to create the perfect life for yourself, the life that you deserve, the life that you want. Hey, how's it going? I just finished a bunch of chores. I'm so tired. Took a shower, and while in the shower, I felt the need to do a video. And that's because, I'm entering a new timeline, like a new phase in my life. I've left the old chapter behind, and I'm still in this transition period where sometimes I'm neither here nor there. And that's when it takes the greatest amount of focus and discipline to really focus on where I'm heading instead of looking back. Sometimes thoughts of the past will come and enter our minds. And what I do is that I just have to keep telling myself to stop it, just stop it. But it comes back. And it is a matter of keep on telling yourself to stop it. Because it does hinder our progress. It does drag us back. When you have a vision for how you want your life to be, it's not a perfect life. You're still going to have challenges. There's still going to be loads of hiccups and problems coming your way. But what is the perfect life for you? You see? So I have this vision of the perfect life. There's no white picket fencing. There's no the society's idea of the perfect life is, lots of money, big car, big house, holidays everywhere. But the perfect life for me is just for me to fulfill my purpose and for my soul to express what it was meant to express through me. So I want to tell you about this movie that really changed my life. It's a really old movie. It has so much wisdom that I want to share it with you. Now, if you haven't watched it and you do want to watch it, then, watch it and come back to this video. It's called Somewhere in Time, and it stars Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour. Very old movie, but still a classic, and so much to learn from, to take out, and to use as a guide for us to live our lives. So Christopher Reeve, his character is a writer. He goes through some kind of writer's block, and he's got no ideas. So he decides to hop into his car and take a road trip. So he does a road trip around the country. And one day he stopped at a hotel. And this is a really charming, I think, 19th century building. Very lovely, charming little hotel. So he decides to stay the night there. And as he was walking around and looking at everything, the antiques and the paraphernalia, he sees a picture of a lady, a beautiful, beautiful woman. And just like that, he, straight up falls in love with her. And he is so in awe of her. But when he looked down at the date of the photo, it was like 1920s, or maybe 1912, I can't remember. So even if she were alive, she'd be like over 100 years old, But he couldn't get her out of his mind, even after his road trip when he got back home. He was just so in love with her. And that, they were meant to be together. These two souls were meant to be together, only separated by time. The movie was made in the, I think, early 80s. Yeah, somewhere in the 80s. So there was no internet or anything like that. So he read a lot of books on time travel and self-hypnosis. And he practiced and practiced. He hit upon the idea of wearing the clothes of those days. So he went to a shop and he bought some vintage clothes. It was the fashion of the 20s, with a bowler hat and all, and continued to practice self-hypnosis. And one day he managed to go back in time. So he found himself on the grounds of this hotel. So he strolled around the grounds and then he saw her standing by the lake. And he approached her. She turned to face him and she said, "Is it you?" Well, the rest is history, literally. So he introduces himself to her. She also falls in love with him. They spend the weekend together and all is joyful and blissful. And it was like, they finally found each other, that kind of happy unicorns and rainbows kind of ending. Well, it's not a movie if it just ended there, right? Without some kind of stress and tension. One day, for some reason, he reached into his pocket, the pocket of his trousers, and he felt something in the pocket. So he took it out, and it was a Lincoln penny. It was dated 1975. And immediately, he came back to present day. He was devastated. So he tried self-hypnosis again. He tried it and tried it for months and months. And he never managed to go back. He never managed to return to her. So this is a very good reminder to us that when we have a vision for our life, if you think that you have wasted most of your life either dealing with trauma or dealing with abuse, when you have suffered trauma, abuse, which was not your choice, not your fault, not in your control, you feel that so much time has been wasted, so much time has been stolen by someone. And when you finally recover from it and decide to move on, you decide to create the perfect life for yourself, the life that you deserve, the life that you want, the life that you visualize being perfect for you. Whatever your purpose is, it doesn't even have to be a purpose. Whatever you want your life to be, visualize it, focus on it, do not look back. Of course, the thoughts of the past are going to come visit you once in a while, sometimes very often, but just dismiss them because they will drag you back. You will slip a few rungs of the ladder. It's okay. It's okay to slip a few rungs, but just make sure that with every 3 steps, with every 3 steps that you move forward, if you move back 2 steps, you're still ahead. Yeah? So let that coin be a reminder to you to always be focused on your vision, the vision of your life. Because once you've escaped the abuse, once you have recognized the trauma, dealt with it, I'm not saying we go straight into toxic positivity where we completely dismiss the past. No, don't dismiss the past if you haven't gone through it yet. Look at the past, learn from it. If there's anything to learn from it, there's always something to learn from, something to learn about yourself. Even if the abuse was not your fault, there is still something to learn from it. Because that's self-knowledge, that's self-awareness. And the more you know yourself, the more awareness you have of yourself, the more self-respect you get, the more self-love you have for yourself. It's just all about knowing yourself, learning about yourself, all your flaws, all your good points, your talents, your skills, your shortcomings, everything, not just the good side of yourself, but everything, your weaknesses. Because it is only when you know your weaknesses that you can actually truly love yourself. You can't love yourself by just focusing on your strengths alone, because that's self-deception. There is no shame in weakness. There's nothing wrong in weakness, because that brings about self-love. It's about being vulnerable. So, of course, getting to know ourselves is a lifelong journey. It never ends. But at the point where you decide that you no longer want to dwell in the past, that you have learned enough, you have got enough out of it to move forward, then decide to just look straight ahead into this vision of your perfect life, whatever perfect means to you. It's going to be far from perfect the way that society sees perfection to be. Who cares? Who cares what other people think your life should be? Your idea of what a perfect life for you is all that matters. And that means we cannot look back. We cannot afford to look back. And every time these demons come to visit you, just say no. Okay? Go away. F off. Go visit someone else. This is, I'm no longer accepting you through my door, You only accept what you allow through your door is what is going to aid you, what is going to help you to move forward to the vision of the next stage of your life. So I've been going through this time frame shift where I feel that the past is really dissolving and slipping through my fingers. And sometimes it saddens me. But that's natural, just allow it to happen without feeling, without beating yourself up about it, and without telling you, oh, why am I doing this? Why am I constantly doing? Just allow it to happen and encourage yourself. Be kind to yourself, like you encourage a child. Just encourage your inner child and say, it's okay. It's okay. Next time, just tell it to go away. Just say, please go away. Just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And one day it will go away. You just have to be kind to yourself. Treat yourself like when you were a child. Parent yourself. It takes time. It takes time to continually say, no, go away, go away, go away. Before you know it, you've hopped into another timeline. A timeline that you deserve, the kind of life that you deserve. And with that new timeline, you're going to get a bunch of new friends, a new community, new circumstances that are better suited for you, new everything. Isn't that great?